Well, thanks so much for joining me on another Wednesday as we look at a leadership thought. I do hope that this encourages you. I hope that it gives you something to think about. I hope that it's challenging to you to realize that, hey, always an opportunity for us to grow. There's always an opportunity for me to grow. There's always a way that we can continue to grow in our leadership. So, whether you're watching from the church, I hope that you're able to have freedom to exercise this, be able to work through this, and grow in your leadership. And if you're a missionary watching, I do thank you that you're part of our team. And you may not be in our neck of the woods, but you are part of our bigger team. And we're so thankful that you continue to watch these and are encouraged and challenged in your leadership ability. So thanks for watching on this October day here in Maine. We're working through this book, excuse me, by John Maxwell. It's the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. And today we want to talk about the law of connection. I want to show you this picture because we've all been a part of a meeting where we couldn't wait for it to get over. The presenter was so boring, the content was not knowledgeable, it wasn't applicable. There was just, you'd rather hear nails dragging on the chalkboard, and you couldn't wait for the presenter to be done. Unfortunately, I think most of us have been in this meeting where we've been the guy in the blue shirt trying to run the meeting, and it's just not going well. Things are not going the way that we thought that it would go. We left there feeling like it was a huge flop. People weren't interested in the ideas, they weren't interested in the vision. I ask these questions because I've sometimes walked out of either a Bible study, a small group, or even sometimes a Sunday morning, went back and watched it and said, what happened? What went wrong? Was it the presentation? Was it the time of day? Was it the hook? Was it the content? Was it the room? Was it the topic? There's always a time for evaluation. And sometimes I have looked at this and I have said, it's been me as the leader. I'm not having an ability to have a connectability to those who I'm leading. You see, sometimes what happens in leadership is we look at the people who are underneath us, those that are part of the team, and we stop seeing them as individuals and we start seeing them as a means to an end, that they are the ones that are able to help us achieve and accomplish what we want. And we forget that we need to care for those people that are under our care and that they are under our leadership and that they are individuals first, and oftentimes that they need someone, a leader that they can connect to. As we look at this law of leadership on the law of connection, I want to challenge us by two quotes. First of all, from Maxwell, and then from John chapter 11, which would be the words of Jesus. Maxwell says on page 122, leaders who relate to their people and really connect with them are leaders that are people will follow to the ends of the earth. You see, people want to follow a leader who know them and who really care about them. People want to know leaders care about them and care for them, not that leaders look at them as a means to an end. I have a quote that I think about all the time. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And this law of connection brings back this reminder, friends, that we need to be able to be connected to those that we lead. Yes, we need to be ahead of them. Yes, we need to know the vision. Yes, we need to know the next 2 or 3 steps ahead of us. But oftentimes we get so far ahead that people can't connect to us in that relational aspect. And sometimes we as the leaders develop a pride or an ego, and we need to remember that people want to be cared for and shepherded and loved by the leaders that are over them. Many times, not sometimes more than we may want to admit, we look at people as opportunities to get things done than individuals who have daily struggles, especially in the corporate world and even sometimes in the church world. We look at people and we stop looking at them as individuals that are hurting or individuals that need encouraged, and we look at them as either a way to give funds or money or a way to get things done or just buckets in the seat to make ourselves feel better about how big our church attendance is. In the secular world, we see that as well, that these individuals, they're helping me to climb the ladder to the vice president or CEO or COO or CFO. And we forget that these individuals, they come in carrying daily struggles, some that we know and some that we don't know. And we need to look at these people that are underneath us, and we need to have a heart for their well being. Why? Because that's going to help us connect to them. And leaders who relate to their people and really connect with them are leaders that the people will follow to the ends of the earth. If you can connect with someone and if you can really help them understand that you do care for them, that you do hurt for them, that you are there to lead them in the church world, I'm going to call that shepherding them, then they're going to follow you because they know that you have their best interest at heart. But sometimes at church we get so busy getting things done that let's just get it done, get it done, get it done, get it done. And then we forget to have that connectability. Let's make sure we take time to be leaders that are connecting to our teammates and be able to care for them, maybe even more than care for the vision that we want to carry out or the task that we want to be done, because they're individual first. They're individuals that Jesus came to die for and that Jesus loves, and we are commanded to love one another. The passage I have chosen when I was reading this and studying this, the Lord brought to mind John chapter 11. And this is the story of Lazarus. And Lazarus and Jesus, they were very close. Lazarus is sick and he actually dies. And I'm thinking about those that are watching this. You probably know the story. Jesus gets word that Lazarus is sick and he waits 3 days and then he goes. And Lazarus' sisters, Mary and Martha, they are grieving and they are hurt. They're deeply wounded because they sent word to Jesus and Jesus could have gotten there in time, but he decided to wait. And so Jesus is coming and Mary and Martha, out of great grief, they unload and they get upset with Jesus because he wasn't there. And in John 11:35, one of the most popular verses, the shortest verse, Jesus wept. Jesus weeps because of the hurt and the cost of sin to his friend and his family. And this family is hurting. Jesus is hurting. And out of great emotion, he just cries. He weeps. He mourns. Even though the Son of God has the opportunity and will resurrect Lazarus, Jesus is just overcome with emotion. And then we lean into John 11:36. And the people standing around, the professional mourners, and the family that was there for Mary and Martha, comforting them. The people standing by said, "See how much he," being Jesus, "loved him," being Lazarus. You see, Lazarus in Jesus' eyes was not just another person that needed a miracle that would help Jesus' popularity. Lazarus was a friend. Lazarus was a loved one that Jesus cared deeply for. Mary and Martha were ladies that Jesus cared deeply for. They weren't extra notches in his belt. They weren't the next step up to popularity or to getting what he needed done. Jesus came to seek and to save those that were lost. And Jesus looked at Mary and Martha and he hurt for them and he grieved for them. And out of that grief, out of that law of connection that Jesus connected to them and he related to them to what they're going through, he wept. He wept and he mourned. He connected with Mary and Martha emotionally, and he hurt when they hurt. I was reminded of Job chapter 2 when Job lost everything, and his friends came and they sat down beside him. They didn't say anything. They just sat down beside him and they mourned and they cried and they wept with him. They connected with him. And they connected with him by not saying a word. And they had a great ministry of presence. They practiced the law of connection. As leaders, we're sometimes so driven to get things done that we forget to connect with people, connect with our teammates to be able to help them to grow as individuals. So as we wrap up this morning, the question I have for you is, how about you? Are you a leader who cares for those who are under your leadership? Do you know them? Do you know about their struggles? Do you take time to hear about the weight that they're bringing in, either to the business or to church or to that team meeting? Are you taking time to know them? Or are you just trying to get in and get out because we have to have a meeting and forgetting to care for people? Do you view people as a means to an end to accomplish something? Or do you truly care for them and love them? And do you connect with them? The question I'd like to leave you with this morning is, how would your leadership change if you knew what was going on with your people before you asked them to accomplish your task or your vision? And you might say, that's going to take extra time and extra effort. Yes, it will. But in the end, it will show people that you truly care for them, that you can relate to them. And then when you relate to them and you connect with them, they're willing to follow you because they know you as a leader have their best interest at heart. Let's learn from that. Let's learn from the example of Jesus. Thanks for being leaders. Thanks for watching. And thanks for leaning in and helping each of us grow to become better leaders so that we can evangelize our town and our world and then help equip people to the work of service. Have a great Wednesday. Reach out if I can help you in any way.